What's going on, Connor? How are you? Yeah, so far so good. Got up bright and early today, so that's nice. Ready to get some work done. Alright. So, what we're going to attempt to do is get Rexen's AI working today. If that is at all possible. So, let's create a nice, simple testing environment. Reset everybody else to neutral. Not quite sure why they wait until... it seems like oftentimes they wait for a while before making the drone. Like they train it one at a time or something. So in theory, things are working out fine right now. They're floating some money already, but it's alright. So it's around at this point where they have their first expansion set up and they've built their 4th colony. Oh, that's supposed to be a spore, so that's already fucked up. That things start to slow down pretty massively. Maybe they should wait before expanding again, I'm not really sure. But they definitely have a crazy number of requests. Most likely because of the fact that they've expanded already. So maybe they should, you know, slow that down. They've got tons of money, but they're not satisfying any requests. What's up, Vic? So this is pretty much the same issue that we had with the other AIs. I mean, with the Stormborn Zerg AIs. A high request count, a lot of money, and no fucking action whatsoever. I mean, they've even got larvae at most of these bases, and they're just not doing anything with them. We can lower the max worker count from 28 to 24 in the main anyway. What's up, UED? So that obviously will not stop them from messing about per se, but I think maybe I could wait until they start building their spire before telling them that it's cool to take a second expansion. So Let me find that. So in theory, that should be fine. Oh, see? Thought you had a modders block. I thought you couldn't do that. What happened to that? I really don't like how long they delay in building their stuff, but whatever. Oh, they did it again. Pranked themselves. The request count is fairly manageable right now, even though they've got 2 bases running. Despite that, they still are not spending their money. So, there you go. They just start working again at the most bizarre of times. Also, they definitely fucked up their placement of that. I don't know what's going on there. Why did they place the breeding grounds in that psychotic position? There is no... Oh, they put the evolution chamber in the wrong spot. Because they didn't have creep. I guess we'll put a... backup over there. Anyway, yeah, their request count is now pretty much lower than it's ever been, beyond when they initialized, and they're still flipping out. What the fuck? What Riz area is that? Wrong map. Well, apparently I pranked myself there. Those two regions got swapped. Oh. No, that was the only problem, I guess. Nope. I mean, there's that guy that posted on the 4th who joined and may still be in the server. I don't know. That's the only one I can think of. Oh, they seem to be building stuff now, but it's only because they've wiped out pretty much everybody that's an enemy, so... Like, at this point, I don't really trust it, you know what I mean? They're still not building anything over here. Actually, they seem to have built everything that I told them to build over there, so maybe I fucked up on the instructions. Fine. I'm so glad I don't have to play Deus Ex anymore. Such a weight off of my shoulders. Well, assuming he's able to speak English, he should be able to write that why he's here, so. Otherwise, you don't want him translating anything. I did not finish it, but my save is irreversibly fucked, and the game is just such a shit show that there's no reason to keep playing it. Thank the Tods. Alright. We've done all that. Ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bing, bing. Okay. Now you've got it. When Iquare joins just to tell us about his latest idle orders command, you know something good is about to happen. Just saying. All right. I'm actually pretty pleased with how the decor is coming along in this map. But I definitely would love to have some rocky snow up in the medium and high terrain levels. So at some point I'll have to painstakingly adapt to all that. Infesting their entire army, yeah. Better watch the fuck out, man. Alright, so I still don't really know what's going on with the priorities here. As much as I doodad, that does not seem to be changing. Stay cis, not stay tis. Yeah, lots of everything. For some reason, I thought I was actually using parts of the Hydra game state by accident because I saw like Overlords moving really fast. I was like, oh yeah, the Hive Tech Overlords. But then I remembered it was not using that. So. Meta state. Except DF. Iquare is like, I must spread the plague. Yeah, could you? Do you remember that one? There's an internal build that Iquare made at some point where plague could, with this upgrade, plague could also kill its target, and it was so fucking ridiculous. Just had legions of Marines dying and infecting other legions. It was crazy. It's absolutely unimaginable. Imaginable. What a song, man. I think that still respects the base layout. I'm not sure. Aha. Yeah, I had to move it that way. Dude, why were they Korean, dude? Yeah, so some screenshots, if you gentlemen will, of the killing plague. If only we had a GIF. Of Sideways You. Alright, so... Dude, that graphic is so fucked up. What else can we mess around with in here anyway? Is there anything? What can we do to make this AI slightly less retarded? Thanks for the GIF, you fucker. You piece of shit. Um... The fuck? There is no GIF shown on stream. That's why it's retarded. John sent hype, by the way. I was trying to turn it off and I accidentally tested it. There. It's done. I hope. No, there. I think I fixed it now. There was a second section for it. An excellent effect. There you go. Oh, it's just, that is something that's like, you might as well be fucking pressing mix play buttons. Just so fucking distracting whenever that happens. Well, I can't see the GIFs that they're sending. That's only on Mixer's side, and I only have the Restream chat open. But I can hear, and of course it displays on stream, the stupid zombie GIF. So turning that off was great. As far as disabling it on Mixer's side too, no, I don't think it's possible. Because they want you to use their fucking microtransaction shit. I don't know. Use your fucking head, dude. Let's hope this AI can use their head too. Epic. I played Ascension of Duran a really long time ago, when it was more recent. That should tell you everything you need to know. Again, the colonies seem to be the ones that are left out. They just don't like building them for some reason. I can't quite figure out why. Meanwhile, suddenly they just randomly decide, oh, I'm gonna morph everything. Time to build everything, guys. Why? And of course their attacks are super pitiful, like fucking 4 units. It turned into 1 unit. 1 unit, by the way. 1 Hydra. It seems Zerg in particular have a huge issue with their default min being on. Maybe I could selectively call default min when they're being like in their defense build thing or whatever. Do this. I wonder if that would work. Because they seem exceptionally stupid. Well, it's not possible to follow up on that in StarCraft 2. In fact, there hasn't been a single RTS StarCraft 2 map made, as far as I'm aware. That's been released publicly, at least. Though I haven't kept up with the game in a while, but it doesn't seem like a game that's where such things are feasible. No, I don't. I have not seen. Literally, I've never seen a single one. It's literally not feasible in the engine. Because even if you get it operational, the most you can get is like a 1v1, and then performance starts to tank. No, it's only Brood War 1.16.1. Or, I guess technically an older version is also allowed, but... I don't know why you would want to make anything for anything else for Mapcrap anyway, considering you only have 3 days. I mean, they do tech up pretty easily. That does seem to be happening. But I don't think they've attacked. Oh, I guess they attacked me. They're getting quick attacked out of existence before they can even start sending their attack force somehow. I don't know how that's happening. Oh, they started doing something now. Like, this is just an embarrassing amount of shit. Considering the fact that they have so many resources and so many production structures, why are they attacking with 3 Hydras? I am not playing anything in StarCraft 2 anymore. In fact, you just reminded me to uninstall that game. Do I have to launch the Battle.net app to uninstall it? I feel like I can probably just do... Reasonable file name doesn't look like a virus at all. Wait, where is it? There it is. I don't have Cortana enabled, but even if I don't have it enabled, it's still installed. Unless you're talking about this? Wait. No, what were you talking about? I don't have Cortana enabled. Oh, yeah. Because that's a bug when you search and then you close out of it. It shows this. But it's disabled. I disabled it when it started. Unless it re-enables itself. But I don't think it does. That would be pretty psychotic. I mean, it could have just enabled it by itself anyway, but... Man, the fact that they are still... They have no money... I mean, no upgrades. They have no units. They somehow managed to kill some stuff, but they have no upgrades. They're tier 1 on both upgrades. They're just now getting their second spire at 30k frames. Like, what the fuck is going on here, man? I would really love to know what their attack list requests looked like. I don't actually think this AI is even getting requests, but I guess I can just use some prints or something, figure out what they're doing. Alright, this song is triggering the shit out of me, so bye. I mean, the song itself was fine. Stupid ass sample in the background. Pretty cancerous. I think it would be more sensible to handle it in a slightly different way. Where you would just have the ability to defend units with higher score or something. A single Razor Fang. Nice attack force. How they managed to pull that one off, I do not know. Yeah, so at this point, they're just not training units at all. Why would I call it this unit Razorback or Razor Claw when its name is Razor Fang? You sound like Veek now. Alright, so that defaultment stuff clearly did not help. Now they train no units at all. Presumably because they don't get requests at a high enough priority. Because we don't have a working queue command. Well, they got half of the attack force that they were supposed to have. Oh. It's crazy seeing them actually build units, to be honest. Destroyed. I mean, at this point, it's like they don't have any units, so I don't know what's happening. All right, now they are getting somewhere. And then half of them go back home. Okay, bye. Oh shit, they've got many Acid Elders. You better watch the fuck out, man. Alright, so they got their Spire a little faster this time. I don't know, though. It seems really psychotic that they would... It's almost like... I don't know. I have no idea. Ugh. I have no idea where to go from here. Like, I don't know what more should I be editing as far as priorities go. Should I be reducing priorities of stuff. Should I definitely should reduce the frequency with which there's any expansions, but that aside, it's like something like that. I remember when we had one new command each day. It's quite a psychotic period of growth. But I still feel like we're back to square one, and sometimes even before that, you know, we don't know what the fuck to do with these priorities, man. Or I don't know. I certainly don't know. If I make the colonies any lower in priority, they'll never get made. If I make anything any higher in priority, they're going to have even less units. So I don't know what the solution in this is. But pretty silly. Waiting on some additional fucking units. Can't believe they're actually going to attack with 2 units, man. What the fuck? The thing is, like, either you get an AI that can attack but doesn't build, or you get an AI that can build but doesn't attack. It's never, like, both. And I don't understand why, specifically Zerg, have so many fucking issues with this. Okay. Hard pass on this mix, man. So I'm theorizing here that the best way to balance Zerg would be, in theory, to have all of their priorities low so that the 50 priority of train and attack add will still be it'll be accepted. That being said, I see no reality where this is the case. Like, how can I make sure that they're building drones and teching the way that they are right now and still, like, also, you know, building their colonies in ways that they weren't before or something? Like, if I reduce the priority of my current set, like, in theory, it shouldn't interfere with unit training from defense build because defaultment 1's enabled, and then that means that they will try to defend with, what is it? The priority is around 120, and I have pretty much everything on a fairly low priority in that sense. So something like this, maybe we can do, like... I mean, I'm not changing priorities of workers, so no idea how this is going to go out. But we do have backup in the form of Control-Zing a billion times if we want to go back. Yeah. Programming in general in Rust. I mean, in general. I don't know if it'll be Rust. I was more confident that I would try Rust later on. I mean, earlier in the year, but I'm thinking maybe moving to Unreal sooner rather than later might be a smarter path. We'll see. Well, I changed priorities almost globally, and I see pretty much no difference in unit training. They're building less colonies for sure, but that's about it. Okay. Goodbye. Rather than training new units for another attack, they're actually taking old attack units. Yeah, something definitely got fucked over with attacks. So it wasn't just like, remember when we were thinking that under attack was broken? Because attacking units were being taken for defense? I think something did get fucked up with attacking units. I think specifically what happened was attacking units no longer have some flag that says they can't be used for something else, where they did before. Because now attacking units are able to be taken from one attack, assigned to a new attack, and then given a new target. Which is like psychotic Warcraft 3 levels of behavior in practice. Definitely should not have been happening. So I don't know what happened, but something was a fucking disaster, that's for sure. Anyway, this seems like we're on the right track. Another thing that I'm going to try to do is do a similar default min thing that I was doing in defenses, but with attacks rather than that. So it'll be something like... I don't know if that will help with this problem, but hopefully it does. That's an epic crash. Why is porting Knave's change going to be a long process? Or all of his changes, I guess. They will refuse to build this forever because they are trying to build it and the Zergling is in the way. Man, something broke the unit mover with drones too because they used to work fine. Now, not so much. I am witnessing actual autism because of one Zergling. Why is there only one Zergling anyway? What the fuck? Oh, I forgot that they have a... They can borrow. Anyway, with requests being as low as they are in terms of quantity, as well as priority, I really don't know what would be stopping the AI from executing on their commands to train units. Like, I guess in theory it could be that all of their larvae are being reserved for drones, but I'm seeing idle larvae all over the place in the middle of attack prep. So they're not being used for drones, and they're not being used for attack units. The AI had money up until a few seconds ago, which is when it started spinning. But yeah, I just don't... I'm not seeing the connection here. I'm not seeing exactly what is causing this issue. Clearly the attacks are being requested. Though we don't know exactly how many attack units are being requested in any given situation. We know enough about this that it can't be that fucking arcane, man. So, once again, I'm feeling back to the drawing board at this point. I'm feeling like there's fucking nothing here. No idea why they float thousands of resources but don't ever satisfy any of their requests. Least of all training units. Forget about building colonies or anything else. It's so weird. Like, maybe there's a request limit of 64. It's never going above 63 over here. So maybe something has to do with that, where there's too many at the same time. But I just don't get why you would ever have a situation like this with your AI, where they just can't progress at all. Meanwhile, over here we've got, like, we have don't wait request resources on, so long as they have over 500 ore, which they definitely had. So no, wait finish attack would wait until all of the attacking units in a attack were dead. So that would not be helpful. You could have like one Zergling running around the map to a new target and delay the entire thing for a minute and a half or something. even if we had some sort of, I don't know, maybe that is vanilla behavior, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the behavior of the AI's attacks just getting hijacked to be used in other attacks is not vanilla. I think that's some bug that was introduced more recently. Yeah. I mean, it only makes sense. Like I never had this level of problems with something like Inconsummate's AI that were just obviously fed money. They never once attacked me and then like immediately moved to a new target. I mean, obviously I didn't have AI debug back then, so I couldn't see all cases, but in all of the testing and all of the playtime that campaign has received since then, I've never seen reports of any issue that looks remotely similar to that. Yeah, that's like super commonplace now. So there has been some regression. I don't know what it was, but pretty infuriating. Well, the delay between attacks doesn't matter. What I'm saying, like, what I even observed in early builds of Hydra 2019 or whatever, the 2019 builds of Hydra, which were on 160 and 1, you would see the AI send out an attack, and then while that attack was going on, they would mass up forces for another attack. And that was super common, and it didn't interfere with the first attack. Well, the thing is, even I'm using trains not to wait for the units completely, but I am using trains and they're not building anything anyway. So the issue is that the AI refuses to, like, it has some lockup in it that happens when you request too much of it, I guess. This is my only explanation for this psychotic behavior. I don't know, man. I think it's just fucking lunacy. And I'm just so tired of Zerg AI specifically being so broken. Like, there's not a single problem with the other AIs. I mean, there are problems, but like the other AIs don't have this degree of trouble building stuff, building workers, expanding, like balancing out everything that I've had told them to balance out. That's what I don't understand. Like, the frauds were super easy to do. I don't have upgrades for them yet, but that's not going to impact them too heavily. Well, I don't know what you do differently than I do in the AI department, but I just axed pretty much all of the priorities for stuff, and it basically changed nothing. So I don't think that's the issue. Like, worker priority is still pretty high, but they have idle larvae all over the place, so... Like, there's nothing intuitive about this problem that leads me to believe that I can come up with a solution without just removing the entire system, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like the solution in this case is just to fuck off and go make my own game, as opposed to actually working within it. Like, the alternative would be to make my own system, but that's psychotic to have to do, you know what I mean? I don't know why Attack 2 would be a problem anyway, though. I was using that for a long time with no issues. I think what happened is there's just a lot of regressions. Like, if I cut out all of the shit like player combat and the more recent stuff, and I just used Knave's A's commit, I wonder how much shit would change. There's already pretty big delays, to be honest. Even when there aren't any delays, it's not like they're immediately building this stuff. So I don't even know what functional difference would make here. They don't build towers at all anyway, so I don't see what that would help. I just have a feeling we're tapping into some really insane limitation that we're not familiar with. Like a limit of 63 requests for any given AI. If I could use Q without it breaking, that would be fantastic. But unfortunately, they those are the ones where like the command breaks and you can never use them for. You can never use the units created by Q for attacks. So that's just super epic. No, the AI just ignores requests if the find max is a lower number than what the AI would require to satisfy the request. I'm almost certain that's the case. I don't know why you said you're not talking about the Q command. That's what I was talking about. I was saying we don't have the Q command, so we can't actually use it. Like, we have a Q command that doesn't work properly, basically. Maybe there is just a limitation, a global limit of 63. That would, that's really psychotic if that's the case, but that might be what's happening here. That is really ridiculous if that's the case, but I can't say I would be surprised with everything that I know about this game and how dumb it is. Alright, so I'm going to replace the worker thread for these guys with Q and see if that works. I'm wondering, though, why... I'm willing to entertain the idea that, yeah, the AI bricks at 64 requests, but why the fuck did it not work properly for other races? What's up, Connor? Welcome back. We'll see after this test. Just waiting on some code from DF, from his experiments with the Q command. All right. Since I'm still waiting for DF, I'm going to wait by using the bathroom, and then when I come back, we will continue waiting. Be right back. We're back. Gotta clean my glasses again. SMH. At least if we're right about this hypothesis about limit of 63 requests, probably means we can eventually extend that limit. Nice. I can see clearly now that you are me. If that is the case, though, I wonder how the frauds work at all, because they should have way more than that number of requests. So I'm wondering if it's just a display bug in AI debug. Suppose we'll find out later. All right, let's see what happens. I guess I could lower the delay for Zerg because of the fact that they have larvae but it seems to have evened out and left them with around. Yeah, they're getting stuff done. Notably, Get Old Peons is not working at all anymore, where it was before. I wonder why that is. Maybe when workers are made with this command, they fail to work. We're back up to 60 requests already somehow. It's probably mostly because of the... I didn't replace it for expansions. No, it works. It was working fine before I switched over to this system. When they had like 10 workers, they would still send 6 over. I guess if I'm doing this at all, I can just do go to main worker. Let's see if that helps. I think Get Old Peons has something to do with distance. But obviously if it's not working at all anymore, then that could be its own degree of weirdness. Although I just deleted the request for it, so... that does not help. They noticeably morph the Sunken before getting a drone, which is pretty psychotic. They should be able to send some more units for the attack. But for some reason... just doesn't work. The fuck? What's up, Ultras? Rendered terrain GRP to cache. Yeah, apparently editing the tile set GRP has created a significantly larger number of problems than I ever thought would happen. Pretty psychotic. That was almost an intelligible message. Proud of you. It's weird looking at normal creep now. I miss my psycho creep already. Would be really funny to me if somehow like the creep replacement was responsible for AI issues. It'd be so retarded, but what else do you expect in this title? Here we go. First attack. They decide for 2 Zerglings instead of anything else. I mean, admittedly, they do have a pretty low bank, but... well, then they're supposed to get even more because of the fact that their expansion kicks in. But instead they get nothing. I send 1 Zergling out. 2 Zerglings, I guess. I really don't get that one. They're certainly getting a pretty high amount of workers, that's for sure. Like they are keeping steady on worker counts, but and for whatever it's worth, their armies are moving out. I mean, they have no fucking armies really, but we've seen a slight performance improvement. But even though the requests are fairly low in terms of number, like the number of requests are below 64, so we know that that's not the same issue that we were having before. But even though that's the case, we still don't seem to see... It seems to take them quite a long time to get operational, and even longer to actually mass an attack force up. Like, this is the first respectable attack I think I've seen from them. This should be, like, 8 minutes ago in game time or something. I don't have it explicitly called. It's just AI control build gas. But that doesn't really... Like, that's not a significant performance hit. I think we can all agree. Destroyed. They're getting there much faster, though. They're wiping the map much faster of static enemies. And they are building up their stuff. So things seem to be working out. Like, they're getting colonies and whatnot, and they're still expanding, and they still got money. But I do wish it didn't take this, you know, quite this long to get to this point, you know what I mean? I'm not sure how to improve performance any further than this. Certainly I could delay the first attack a little bit more so that we have, you know, the expansion set up and maybe a bit more money in reserve. And then I guess segment the early game a little bit more so that they get the staging ground set up starting at around, I don't know, after their first attack. This would be their next move, and then after this they could expand a second time, and then things could open up from there. Well, what I can do is, since I don't think Zerg are going to be a big impact anyway, I mean, gas is going to be a big impact anyway in that particular case, what I think I can do is, first of all, I'm going to take away all these print messages, because we know that this is a functioning thread now, so we don't need to actually go through here. But after that, I think what I need to do is just call AI control build gas much later, like after the second expansion gets set up, and then I can explicitly request the refinery structure, gas structure, in that case later on. I don't think that this has had much of an effect. Maybe it's easier for them to mess up, but I have not seen this affect them very positively in general, so I'm also going to delete that. And then... let's expand. Do it there. And in this case, we'll do that's 13 at least, weight 3, H arc blank. And I want to say their first attack should wait until the hatchery for the main has been set up. So that could just be something like... well, the expansion hatchery is finished. So we should probably do, like... maybe we'll wait for a lair to start before they attack. Lair's probably kind of too early anyway. So I guess I could wait until... I could delay the lair and do wait build start one layer or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll do bring jump at least 3. Alright, hold on. I gotta find the tiny thread here. Alright, so that should fix that. But then in the... So then in the nat, I just realized I don't actually call an explicit extractor request in the main. Because they already start out with one. So we'll just add that in case they ever get attacked. That would be terrible. Okay. Or did I just add that under? Okay, I thought I typoed. The fuck? Oh. Now that's a good prank. In fact, I should just rename these to Plague Bear. I reset most of the priorities and changed up a bunch of shit, so yes, you missed quite a bit, but it's okay, we're getting somewhere. I got rid of my modified creep because it kept crashing. They're a siege unit. Like a guardian on the ground, basically. They absolutely refuse to build a Hydralisk Den over there until... or due to the fact that they have a unit burrow there, which is great. Yeah, each faction will have a few different units. Well, keeping their money low anyway. Still, attacking with 4 fucking Zerglings instead of anything useful. Destroyed. Oh, they seem to have wiped the map a lot fucking quicker this time. Well, I guess not really. Same sort of time. This is probably the closest we're going to get to a functional setup, though. I feel like. I'm looking for the Ultralisk Cavern request, but I do not see it. This is strange. Surely there's a single Zergling hidden away somewhere. I don't wanted to see if they had what their melee attack stuff was. What's up, Billithal? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I reworked the script so that it wouldn't request as many things. Like I used Q for all of the workers, courtesy of DF. Which reminds me, I have to lower this to 24. Anyway, yeah, I think this is pretty much as good as we're gonna get. Like, I've spaced out everything very, very generously, and I see nothing. So. Alright, let's see what we can do. Like, I'm trying to think of what else I could do to improve its early game. Larvalous. So some sort of larva subtype that would be able to morph into... What? Morph into a larva that can then morph into something else? The fuck? Hold on one sec. Yes, the CSGO tiles, the swamp tiles are indeed finished. They've been finished for a while. Apparently. Why have you sent this to me, Tia? There you go. It's been put in where it belongs. Oh, man. Why? Soon this entire server's emoji list will just be various clowns. I don't believe this. Yeah, they'll all be custom clown emoji too. That's even more sick. It's not like we just found this shit on the internet. No, somebody made this. Somebody made these clown emojis. Oh yeah, I still have to add the Blizzard ramp emoji. Hold on, that's a good one. Where is that one anyways? Lardiskin. What's up there? My hard drive, I have no idea. I guess Ripcord itself lags a bit, but I haven't checked my hard drive. What even is this? An igloo for ants or something? Like, what the fuck? I don't know what that doodad is. Yeah, Ikewear, the swamp splash effects are all that we need. DF can give you the technical DF tails on that one. You feel me? Bing, 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 bing. Yeah, I'm trying to think, man. I'm still trying to think here about what we can do with this, this stuff. I don't know what Swamp would give as far as an advancement. It could give bonus armor to small units, I guess, but I don't know why it would. It would have to be small units only, not for any particular race. I guess maybe certain units would be sped up by it or something? I don't know. Amphibious units. Yeah, that's true. The Dragoon's probably like the... Is the Dragoon the only issue with that? Because I feel like maybe the Reaver might be too. Yeah, they have... They lose... they lose health over time. like that. Maybe borrowed units would be undetectable. Even with detection, you wouldn't be able to see. It's really dumb, but... I don't know, I feel like it's not necessary to give them a terrain advantage. Yeah, they just burrow and start dying. I like that idea. That's a good Mapcrap idea. Anyway, I don't think giving custom overlays to units will be a technical problem. Creating the art for it will probably be a headache. But if the art was made, we could implement some system that would give a different set of frame sets depending on unit ID, I guess. Or the I suppose it would probably be best to do that based on image ID, actually. So if the image ID is matches the Dragoon's entry or something, then do it. If the image ID matches the Reaver's ID, give it something else. I don't know. That would depend on how many specific ones are made. That would be a really sick fucking overlay, though, if we ended up doing that. DF will probably have a more organized version of them somewhere. I can send you just the latest. If you want them already hooked up in a tile set, I can send you my tile set for them. But if you would just want to look at the BMPs, I would get them from DF. Alright, anyway, since I'm aching to test Chuck here, we're going to change some stuff around. We're going to test Chuck. But first, I'm going to use this new setup I have for workers. Over here. Say command center. It is unfortunate we lose out on the limited functionality that we did have with get old peons, but eventually we'll just have our own command for that. Oh, yeah, I started to work on the upgrades for those guys and I forgot about that. Protoss Tech. Wait, what? Dude, I totally pranked myself. It sure is. Check out my men. Ahmed! Now this is an attack force. A strike team. So the biggest concern I have for the Raiders in general is and Terrans in general is that they very rarely bother keeping their bunkers staffed, which is especially bad for a variety of reasons. I don't know what happened here, but they did not bother to what happened here anyway? Any ideas why they might completely fail to bother building stuff here? What the fuck happened? White build 1 command center, max workers 18. Somehow they got set to 28. They don't have a 28 max worker thing here, so not quite sure what could have been happening here. They're absorbing some workers from other towns, but they're not making any of their own, and somehow they're getting max workers 28, but I'm not sure how. Yeah, you like that one? Oh, they are getting max workers 28 from here. But let me count what we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll say 26 probably for the main. Instead of 24. So they're inheriting workers from their other towns, but they're not actually queuing any over here. Yeah, it was if owned and no towns jump. Those were the commands that I used back in the day for that. I mean, I still use no towns jump now, but for actual reasons. I'm still wondering why they would not... Oh, because main worker... Wait, no. EXP worker. I'm the wrong one. I'm trying to think, like I must have fucked something up where... I don't see how I could have fucked something up here. Any ideas, DF? What's happening is the AI is not actually queuing anything. For the expansions. It seems functionally identical to the main. I don't... Yeah, most likely. Let's see. Yeah, this looks fine. Looks very similar. At most. No, I haven't even tried to use the new build. Because so much shit is already breaking automatically by itself. I'm not going to risk upgrading in that sense and fucking everything up. It should be possible to get something working properly in this context, but for whatever reason, we're having difficulty in this particular context. Yeah, they end on the same line, so it's not like there's a missing or extra one anywhere. It's local. Not anywhere. Yeah, the problem is mostly the slowdowns I'm worried about. And of course the very real issue of what we were discussing earlier, where stuff broke out of nowhere. Why would this break? I'm really at a loss for what's stopping this thread. From working as expected. I am yawning so much today, too. Well, it really depends, like... You might actually need the new commands, which really says it all. The fraud script is probably the largest in this particular map. It's not as large as the Renegades in Stormburn, but... Any day now, you want to go and put that command center to work? Thanks. Yeah, they're still doing the same thing here. Yes, you already knew that, though. I'm never writing something that's going to be that big. If I do, it's out of fucking desperation. I don't know what that means to you. Why would I have to wait at all for them to start queuing the first one? That's literally your script. What do you mean? That's what you sent me. What you sent me was res area jump 255 at least. Yeah. What you sent me was wait 300, delay between workers being queued. Res area jump at most 255 or 600. Oh. You have some weirdo system going on here. No. That's for when the... Yeah, that's accurate. That's for when they're being depleted. I just swapped the order of the two blocks, but there's no functional difference. So yeah, you did send me that. And yours, town PRB 01 is worker standard. STD. And 00 is low. It's the same code. Oh, I pasted low by accident. It's the same code. Wait, res area jump if there's for depleted, right? Max workers. Compare current worker count to maximum worker count. Jump back if the comparison is true. And then wait for 50 ore and then queue the worker. So I don't see what would be different about that. So it is queuing the SCV, but it's not doing anything with it. Not quite sure what's going on there. The queue is going through, it's just not working for some reason. Any ideas, Iquare? Because there's no reason for it to not work. The queue is... command is firing. Thanks. Very helpful. Dude, Q is the only way I can actually build workers. It doesn't work otherwise. AI bricks. They suck. The system is fucked. Workers don't work otherwise. So how about a better solution to this problem? Literally can't make the AI build workers unless I use Q. Or it just breaks everything else because of the number of requests. So... like, what the fuck do you want? How do I fix this? If I don't do it this way, the AI has more than 63 requests and sucks its own dick the entire time. So I have to do it this way. But why the fuck would it work for Zerg and not for Terran? Yes, it's because there's a cap of 63 requests. Can't have more than that. Like, it won't crash the game, but it won't do anything. Whereas if you get over to 100 requests, that's when you crash the game. I knew Iquare was going to say don't use Q as well. I knew it. I knew he was going to say that. I know that, but that's what I'm saying. I can't, because remove build doesn't actually remove the request of SCVs. I can't actually get them to build workers and also build everything else they need to build without capping them out. Unless I use Q, which doesn't create the request, it just tells them to do it. And it's perfect for the mains. It seems to work fine for the mains. But for some reason, it's a no-go for expansions. So I guess I'll just go back to sucking myself. I'm guessing that Q isn't working for command centers that are otherwise assigned or something. I don't know. They're part of a different town. Meanwhile, these guys wipe the map in less time than the Zerg do, even though they have more enemies to fight. Significantly less time, too. Like a whole 2 or 3 minutes quicker. Alright. I'll have them 1v1 each other and see what happens. Sorry, there's a Zergling in my way. I can't build my hatchery. Ah! Bing. Bing, bing. Bing. Sorry, Zergling here. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, DF. If I have enough money, immediately queue this. Otherwise, do nothing. This is like the most psychotic base layout I've ever seen from these guys, and it's all because a single Zergling was borrowed somewhere it shouldn't have been. Now, if that's not epic, I don't know what is. Meanwhile, Chuck did the stupidest thing possible and cleared out everybody besides Rek'Sun, and will now steamroll Rek'Sun. I'm sure. Considering he's actually getting his third earlier. Hi. What the fuck? Prank. Hi, Ahmed. Oh, maybe Rek'Sun has something to say about this. Oh, see ya. Oh, he just wants to come and kiss me, I guess. Hi. See ya. He's got quite a few sunken colonies over here. Oh, cave doodad coming up. Better watch out. Ah, radiate. Bing. Siege, by the way. Dude, where the fuck? Speaking of Siege, where's his tanks? What's he doing? Wake up, bro. Oh, he's got one tank. Oh, he's even got two upgrades, but no fucking... Yeah, tanks are overrated, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty psychotic behavior. Hi. Oof. Ah! Pranked. Well... I thought he was going to steamroll him, but instead he got pranked. Decided not to. He's probably capped on priorities, right? He's like, yeah, he's oscillating back and forth, so he still needs to be kissed a little bit, it seems. Aha! Cloaked 5 nations units. Oh, see ya. Well, see ya. Ultra Lick, by the way. It's over. Rek'Sun wins. Well, anyway. We got some work done, I guess. Sort of. We made some progress. Oops. Well, that was psychotic. All that matters to me, though, is that we're a little bit closer to actually having functioning Zerg AI. Thanks to the Q command and the loops created by DF. Thanks to, as well, the spacing out of requests, which was suggested by Veek. So it was a real community effort to try to make Zerg functioning. Yeah, for sure, Dia. Trying to think of where we go from here. Well, I do think that telling the AI to expand and to tech up and to build up a bunch of stuff in its main for static defense and to attack in short order is probably too demanding, even for the number of resources that they get while cheating. So what I should probably do is just tell the AI to like have the AI focus on one thing, like really laser in its focus on a few different tasks. I don't like making it so that they have to complete that task before moving on to something else, but I should give them enough time to, in theory, complete the task. Like, my concern is if they end up getting, attacked in the middle of that or something disrupts that behavior, then they won't ever get any of their other subroutines going because the condition is wait until you build an armory or something like that. And if you never build your armory, or you take like 10 minutes to do that, it could be a real problem. So rather than make it linear, it's just going to be one of those things where I'll afford some more breathing room in the script itself. So I'll look for any areas where I think maybe there needs to be more of that in the Zerg script, but I think at this point we're really just limited by base layout being cucked because of the unit mover not working for drones. That needs to be fixed. But once, assuming that is resolved, in theory, besides some smaller issues like the AI not actually using get old peons properly, and obviously the big issue of the AI just spinning attack forces, I do think that we've hit a nice balance. Maybe I could add more delays and more breathing room in between attacks. That might help. So that's what I'm thinking, is keeping the requests low pretty much all the time by giving the AI enough time to complete all of the requests, and also, of course, time enough to get the money required. The thing is, Connor, it's not just money or whatever. It's if they started out with infinite money and they still had the old setup of requests, they wouldn't actually build... Like, it would be a little bit better, but they would still get capped in terms of number of requests. They would still hit the cap and then thus start fucking hanging up, basically. So that seems to be the case anyway. Like, I don't think giving them a bunch of money would have helped them at all. So, it would have helped them a little bit, and maybe that little bit would have helped them more than I'm making it out to be in this thought experiment, but I'm almost certain that it would have been fucked up no matter what, and that we needed to do something on the script side to facilitate that, and then in doing so, we also allowed it to work without increasing the stockpile of resources or whatever. Like, right now, it seems like it's in a pretty good spot, so just adding some more breathing room in the attacks, I think will help sort of allow the AI to have a stronger footing. So that'll be my next stop for Zerg. For Terrans, and for all the AIs in general, I'll be doing the attack delays. And, of course, I need to add some more upgrades for the frauds. And then handle their defense use and attack add stuff for if they have some mind-controlled units and stuff like that. And then I guess I can just migrate all of the code from Rechtson's AI over to Charlie's AI and just change base layouts and attack stuff. And the sooner I finish the Charlie AI and test it and make sure that everything seems kosher there, and the sooner that I finish the fraud polishing and finishing job with the Dark Archons and stuff like that, the sooner I can get into actual tech tree editing and really start adding a bunch of new units and handling new attacks and stuff like that. And of course, script writing and figuring out what's going to be happening with that. So I'm hoping that by the end of next week, we should be completely done, in theory, with the map, which will obviously make it so that I've done it in 3 weeks instead of 4, which is going to be good for me because then I can migrate these lessons that I've learned when it comes to the whole Zerg AI. I can give it another crack for Stormborn, and of course I can go back to some of the Hydra stuff and start working with them. I would really like to get like the first Terran mission for Hydra, for example, in some state of operation, because that, to me, is like a really good test. Like, if I can make a functioning version of the first Terran mission, that means I've made 3 functioning Zerg AI scripts, and also 3 functioning Terran AI scripts that I can then use to test the metal of the Zerg AI scripts, right? Because we're pretty confident in being able to make competent Terran AI. The one concern right now is defending, but we're pretty confident that we'll be able to at least make some strides, some headway in that department with this Mapcrap map. So the first Terran mission of Hydra will be like a test of whether or not we've been able to make Terran AI that can defend properly and do everything else that it already does fairly well, like upgrade and tech and attack and expand. And then Zerg AI that can actually play the fucking game, which is where we're getting to the point where they can play the fucking game now, which is really exciting. So That's what I'm looking forward to, is getting to the point where we're working on that. Stormborn, I guess I'm a little less excited about because I still am not quite sure exactly how we will end up going through and fixing up all of the issues with Zerg. But I do think we should be able to at least migrate over the worker queue stuff for the Zerg AIs and fix up a whole bunch of other silly things. Like adding some more weights in between the town threads by themselves should fix a lot of things, as well as probably adding some more weights between attacks. Once we are able to do those three things, the weights between attacks, the weights in the middle of the town threads, and the new worker setup, that should eliminate most of the problems and allow us to focus in on what else needs to be done to make that map finished. So keeping my eye on that, but obviously not going to be jumping into the Stormborn development streams again until maybe next week or something. Depends on how this coming week, this week that we're in now, goes. So with that said, I think I'm going to sign off for now. I know it's only been 3 hours, but it's one of those days where I'm a little under the weather, and I just want to... I still have a lot of stuff to do anyway before I go to work. I do have to go to work in 2 hours, or less than 2 hours. So I want to make sure that I'm able to do the other things that I need to do today, and then go to work and not die. So that'll be it. But stay tuned. Obviously, tomorrow's another mod stream, and then Tuesday, another mod stream, and Ascension of Duran. I'm going to be playing that, so wish me luck in my insane adventures. And thanks for hanging. Thanks for contributing. Mwah, kisses. Bye.